It's time for What's Up This Week.
Hello, and welcome to What's Up This Week, your weekly dose of history, facts, and trivia from University Branch Library. This week, we're looking back on Walt Disney's earliest creations. Years before Mickey and Minnie Mouse were household names, there was Walt's Laughograms, the first of which was released on March 20th, 1921. Disney's first animated films began as after-work projects while Walt and fellow animator Ub Iwerks were working as commercial artists for an advertising company in Kansas City. Disney persuaded Frank Newman to include short snippets of animation in the series of newsreels produced for 3 local movie theaters Newman owned. The footage, created by Disney, Iwerks, and a few of their friends, mixed advertising with topical humor. The Laughograms were a hit and led to commissions for longer animations to be used as intermission fillers. Spurred by his success, Disney decided to try something more ambitious: animated fairy tales. In all, 9 such animations were created, ranging from 6 to 15 minutes each, featuring stories like Little Red Riding Hood, Jack and the Beanstalk, and Puss in Boots. The cartoons were very popular. However, Walt was not a very good businessman and had been selling his films for less than they cost him to produce, and Laugh-O-Gram Studios would shut down in July of 1923. Walt wasn't ready to give up on his animation dreams, though. He and Ub Iwerks moved to Los Angeles, and along with Walt's brother Roy, who was much better at handling finances than Walt was, founded the Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio, which would eventually change its name to the Walt Disney Studio. Years later, Walt would claim that he found his inspiration for Mickey among the mice that ran around freely at the Laugh-O-Gram office in Kansas City. They used to fight for little pieces of cheese in my wastebasket when I worked alone late at night. I lifted them out and kept them in wire cages on my desk. I grew particularly fond of one brown house mouse. He was a timid little guy. By tapping him on the nose with my pencil, I trained him to run inside a black circle I drew on my drawing board. When I left Kansas City to try my luck at Hollywood, I hated to leave him behind. So I carefully carried him to a backyard, making sure it was in a nice neighborhood, and the tame little fellow scampered to freedom. If you'd like to learn more about the life of Walt Disney, the library has several materials available. That's it for me. What do you have for us this week, James?
Hola, Daniel, and hola to you all out there. March 19th marks the birthday of the award-winning and prolific actress Glenn Close. Born in 1947, she spent her childhood in Greenwich, Connecticut. After high school, she enrolled at the College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia. She graduated in 1974. For the rest of that decade and into the next, she appeared in several Broadway shows, though in 1980 she won a Tony Award for her work in Barnum, a musical about the life of P.T. Barnum. Hollywood took notice of her talents, and in 1982 she appeared in her first feature film, The World According to Garp. While she still appeared occasionally on the stage, in the decades after, Close built a fascinating and illustrious screen career. She appeared in the films The Big Chill, The Natural, Jagged Edge, Fatal Attraction, Dangerous Liaisons, 101 Dalmatians, Albert Nobbs, The Wife, and, most recently, in Hillbilly Elegy. In terms of television, she lent her voice to The Simpsons and appeared in the shows Damages, The West Wing, and The Shield. Of course, this is only a portion of the projects Glenn Close has been a part of. She is a performer with talents too powerful to be ignored. All right, Megan, what's this week's weird thing?
Hi everyone! This week's weird thing is that March 20th is National Quilting Day. Who doesn't love to snuggle up with a good quilt? National Quilting Day is a day to honor and recognize quilt makers and all of the labor and skill that goes into creating a quilt. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what a quilt is. A bed covering comprised of at least 3 layers of fabric stitched together with a decorative pattern. The quilting technique is used primarily for making quilts, but quilting can also be applied towards home furnishings, clothing, wall hangings, and more. There is a long and rich history behind the tradition of quilting. People have been quilting all over the world for ages, as early as 3400 BCE. A carved ivory figure of a pharaoh dating back to ancient Egypt depicts the earliest known quilted garment. There are many different quilting techniques, styles, and traditions, and they are truly a reflection of the people making them and the times they were living in. Let's focus on a few different quilting styles in America for a minute. In colonial times, patchwork quilting was the style, and it was a great way to reuse scraps of fabric. This style came back into fashion during the Great Depression, since recycling clothing was essential for many. After the end of slavery, African Americans started to branch out with their quilting styles, helping to advance the artistry of quilting. For example, Harriet Powers, a slave-born folk artist, made quilts that told stories. She is just one of many African Americans who made significant contributions to the history of quilting. Amish quilts are another distinct style of American quilting. Their quilts are made completely by hand and exhibit bold graphic designs and color combinations. These quilts were often the only decoration in Amish homes, as they were known for simple living and plain dress. There is so much more to learn about quilting, way more than I can cover in this episode. Fort Bend County Libraries has a plethora of quilting books and a few DVDs if you'd like to learn more. We've got books on the history and significance of quilting, and books on quilting patterns and techniques for all skill levels. We've even got some books for children who want to learn how to quilt. This is just a small sampling of the materials we have available on this popular topic. Place your holds today. Thank you for watching, and join us again next week for more trivia from University Branch Library.